everybody. Welcome to the Glen Kuiper Show. All Giants here on YouTube. I am at the ballpark, at Oracle Park. In fact, how cool is this? I'm in Willie McCovey. He's right there. He's watching me. I'm in Willie McCovey's booth for tonight's show. Gorgeous night here at the ballpark, and what should be the start of a great week of baseball with the Giants and the Phillies, and then the Giants and the Dodgers coming up this weekend. A good vibe after a good end to the road trip for the Giants. Coming up tonight on the show, again, try to pack the show with as many goodies as I can for you. We're going to preview tonight's Giants Phillies game, and we'll talk a little bit about the series as well. We're going to hit on the Giants lineup because they are at full strength for the first time. At least the position players are. Bob Melvin has his full group to do what he wants with the lineup. What's he going to do with the lineup? So we'll talk about, look at the lineup tonight and what we think he may do moving forward, whether it's a left-handed starter or a right-handed starter. But we'll certainly talk about that. We'll talk about the Giants' 3 All-Stars, 3 pitchers. Maybe they'll get another one if somebody drops out, and who knows? Maybe Tyler Rogers has still got a shot. But we'll talk about those Giants All-Stars, and we'll also take a quick look at some goodies from the All-Star rosters as well for the game coming up next Tuesday night in Atlanta. So that is what we're going to bring you on tonight's show. Remember, hit the like button. I think you'll enjoy the show. Give me some of your comments or questions. I like to check in with those as best I can as I'm doing the show, and I do try to get to some of those questions and answer them during the show. I want the viewers to be part of the show, and also hit that subscribe button. We love the subscribers; they've been great so far. We've really been kicking butt on picking up subscribers in the first. How long we've been doing this now? Just about 9-10 weeks, and it's been great. It's really been great. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and hit the comments. Let me know how you're doing. And also remember, before we get going with our live show tonight, go to my YouTube channel. There's a lot of videos there. All the live streams that we've done in the past are still there. So if you want to watch those, you can. There's some good stuff there, and we continue to make videos for the channel, and they're all there. So feel free to go there and check them out. Again, good stuff related to the Giants and Major League Baseball. So let's get started with the show. Previewing tonight's game, the Giants and the Phillies. Giants 49-42 on the season. They're 7 games back in the West, tied for the 3rd wild card spot in the National League with the San Diego Padres. Padres are 48-41. Giants are 49-42. So both those teams 7 games over 500. Giants playing a little bit better after a tough start to that last road trip. They've won 4-5. That's good news. In those 5 games, the offense has come to life. We've waited a long time for that, as they had a tough stretch that probably lasted quite a bit longer than anybody wanted it to, including the players and the coaching staff. But a little bit better offensively in the last 5 games. They've scored a total of 28 runs, 47 hits in that 5-game stretch. Runners in scoring position was better. My numbers say 14 for 52 in this 5-game stretch, was a 269 average. So better, obviously, with runners in scoring position, but just as important, I think, is the number of opportunities. 52 opportunities with runners in scoring position in the last 5 games. And I've said this over and over. It's twofold. It's creating opportunities with runners on base, and then coming through with the hits. And for a long time, the Giants weren't doing either. Well, now, at least in the short term, in the last 5 games, which is kind of the stretch where they've played better baseball, they're creating more opportunities, more base runners, and the clutch hits are starting to come. So that's certainly good news. Willie Adames has started to heat up. That may be the biggest news of all. The last 7 games, 11 for 26, 9 RBIs, and OPS over 1,200. Again, that's and these are just 7-game numbers, but it's still he's heating up. Last 15 games, he's got 13 RBIs. He's got a 333 batting average. We've said all along the career arrow for him is always said he's a better second half player, and so far he has showed it, and that's huge. That's a big deal. So that's what's up with the Giants, playing a little bit better and had a pretty good weekend in Sacramento. Now the Phillies, they're very good. I mean, there's no secrets here. Everybody knows the names. They have a terrific roster. They're 53-37. That's the third best record in the National League behind the Dodgers and the Cubs. They got a game and a half lead over the Mets in that National League East, and those two teams they're gonna just battle the rest of the year right down to the wire. They still got 7 games left against each other, so that'll be a fun race to watch kind of from afar. The Phillies and the Mets. A couple games over 500 on the road are the Phillies. They just finished up a series at home over the weekend where they won 2 out of 3 over the Cincinnati Reds. So playing decent right now. They've won 3 straight series. And just looking at some of their team statistics, they're 7th in the National League in runs scored, which is a little surprised. I thought that number would be a little bit better with all the terrific hitters they have, but they're very dangerous. 7th in runs scored, 5th in home runs. Pitching wise, the starters have been terrific. They have what some people could consider maybe the best rotation in baseball, led by Zach Wheeler, who thankfully the Giants will not see him in this series, but they have the best starters ERA in the National League. Bullpen, a little bit different story. The bullpen ERA is 11th out of the 15 teams in the National League. So the starters are very, very good for Philadelphia. The bullpen, a little bit of a question mark. That's probably an area where the Phillies will go at the trade deadline. Good defensive team. So really the only somewhat of a weakness that this Phillies team may have is maybe a little shaky in the bullpen. We'll see if that comes into play in this series at all. But all in all, it's a terrific Phillies team. They're very, very talented. And this has a chance to be a very, very fun series and a good challenge series for the Giants to see if they are indeed starting to play a better baseball. Remember, these two teams played a 4-game series in Philadelphia early in the year. It was in mid-April. They split that 4-game series. The Giants scored 29 runs in that 4-game series, but that was a long time ago, and it was at that early point in the season when the Giants' offense was really, really clicking, and they were able to get out of Philadelphia. The Giants were with a split in that 4-game series. So that's how the two teams look at this point. Pitching matchup tonight. This is going to be a challenge for the San Francisco Giants tonight. They are facing the left-hander Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies, and he is terrific. He's 7-2. He's got a 2.68 ERA. He's got 108 strikeouts in 100 innings. And remember, he pitched against the Giants back in that series in Philadelphia in April, and he beat the Giants on April 17th. He had 12 strikeouts in 7 innings. That's a season high in strikeouts for him. He's terrific. He's got a great changeup. As you watch the game tonight, think changeup because you're going to see a bunch of them. So the Giants are going to have to figure out what to do with this changeup because they did not figure it out the last time he faced him back in April. Christopher Sanchez, really one of the better pitchers in the National League, maybe goes a little unnoticed because of Zach Wheeler, his teammate, who's maybe the top Cy Young candidate. But Sanchez wouldn't be surprised if he possibly gets added to the National League All-Star team. That is not out of the question. That's how good he has been. So that's the challenge for the Giants tonight, who will send Landon Roop to the mound. Roop 6-5 with a very good 3.48 ERA, 18th start. The young man has not missed a start from the get-go. He's been in the rotation all year. A little bit up and down, but there's something about this kid that I like. You remember 3 starts ago against the Dodgers, he got knocked around big time, and it was one of those starts where he just didn't have it. He just did not have it. And you're at Dodger Stadium, and things happen fast there. Things can get out of hand fast with that Dodger lineup, and when it was all said and done, Roop just was not good. He got knocked out in the 2nd inning. But what he has done since then, he has bounced back. He's made 2 starts since then. He's won them both. He beat Boston. He beat the White Sox, and he did that by allowing just 1 run in 11 in the 3rd inning. So my point is something about the makeup with Landon Roop that I like, and I know a lot of people feel the same way in this organization. There's toughness to this kid, and he was able to bounce back. And all in all, he's really having a nice year for his first year in a rotation. Giants will keep a close eye on him, with the innings, and will there be an innings limit? We'll see. But so Landon Roop looking for his 7th win of the year tonight. He did beat the Phillies back in Philadelphia in that series that we talked about. He beat them on the 14th of April, gave up 4 runs in 5 innings, but the Giants scored a ton of runs, and Roop got the win. So it's Sanchez and Roop. Sanchez, the lefty, Roop, the righty, and that's the starting pitching matchup tonight. See if Roop can control what is a really kind of a star-studded Philadelphia Phillies lineup. So that's what we're looking at tonight. What else we're looking at, and Giants fans should be excited about this. I know Bob Melvin's excited. Giants are at full strength, position player-wise, except for Christian Koss, the backup infielder, who's still on the injured list. But Casey Schmidt has been activated from the injured list. He's back. Fitzgerald was sent back down to AAA. Casey Schmidt is in the lineup tonight. He's playing second base. He is going to get an opportunity to solidify the second base spot. And before he got hurt, got hit in the hand, Casey Schmidt was swinging the bat extremely well. We liked his swings a lot. He looked like a little bit of a different hitter than he has been in the past, better selection. And he is going to get a shot to grab this second base spot. This could be a big development for the Giants. Fitzgerald really struggled there most of the year. Giants were not getting a lot of production out of the second base spot. If Schmidt can take that next step in his career, think about the ramifications of that. He's going to get this opportunity, probably for the final 3 months of the season. If he can handle it, he can put up some offensive numbers. You may have your second base answer for the future. Now, we don't know that. We're not trying to put pressure on this kid, but the point is it is a possibility. He's a talented young man, and now he's going to get his opportunity, and we'll see what he does with it. But the point is Casey Schmidt's back. Chapman's back. Devers is in the lineup. Chapman and Devers now in the lineup. First time it's happened in the last couple of days in Sacramento. So my point is Bob Melvin has his guys. Now, what is he going to do with this lineup? And listen, there's so many different ways you can put together a lineup. I know fans all have their opinion on, I would do this, I'd put a guy there. And nobody's right, nobody's wrong, right? But ultimately, it's the manager who puts the lineup out there. And I'm really curious to see what Bob's going to do now that he has his full complement of players. I have some ideas what I think he's going to do, but I don't know that for sure. But it's going to be interesting to watch closely because I think Bob, like most managers, he would like to solidify a lineup or get close to an everyday lineup. Now, it may be a little different whether it's a left-handed pitcher or a right-handed pitcher. That's where there could be some variations in this lineup. But I think Bob's going to try real hard to try to settle a little bit, anyways, as much as he can on a lineup. So let's look at tonight. Now, remember, there's a left-hander pitching, and keep the left-handed, right-handed thing in mind because that will, cause maybe some small changes day to day, depending on who's pitching. But tonight, the first time Bob's got his lineup, his guys back, they'll be facing the lefty. So it's Ramos in the leadoff spot, which is interesting. That's a talking point. But we've seen this now for a while. When a left-hander starts against the Giants, Ramos is in the leadoff spot. And I know Bob likes this idea a lot, and I think he's going to stick with it. And I don't have a problem with it. I think, Ramos, he can hit in the middle of the lineup, and he will at times as well. But I like the idea of Ramos there. Danger right from the get-go. The young man is really having another nice year this year after last year. So seeing it tonight, and we've seen it now for a while. I think this is going to be a norm, folks. I think Ramos will be in the leadoff spot when a left-handed pitcher is on the mound. Okay, now tonight I'll go through the lineup and then we'll kick it around a little bit. It's Ramos leading off. It's Devers batting in second spot, and then it's Adames third, Chapman fourth, Flores fifth. So there's your 3-4-5, 3 right-handed hitters. Casey Schmidt is hitting sixth. Okay, and then it's Jung-Hoo Lee in center hitting seventh. It's Luis Matos in right hitting eighth, and then Patrick Bailey hitting ninth. So that's what we have tonight. So think about that, and then think about, what Giants fans, what would you like to see? because it could be a little bit different against right-handers. I think when tomorrow night we'll see Taijuan Walker, a right-handed pitcher. So I think it's going to be fun to see what Bob does against a right-hander. I think you're going to get Yaz back in the leadoff spot. And then, is he going to lead Devers in the second spot? Or what we've seen him do is against a right-handed pitcher, maybe Ramos drops down to the second spot and Devers hits third. I don't know. We'll see, where he puts Devers and Ramos moving forward. But it wouldn't surprise me if you see the Adames, Chapman, Flores group, that threesome, either in the 3-4-5 or 4-5-6, maybe in different, maybe it won't always be Adames third, Chapman. But anyways, I think those three guys are going to sit in the middle of that lineup, 4 through 6 or 3 through 5. And then down at the bottom, and this is where I think you're going to see some improvement. Because for much of this year, the Giants just have not gotten much production from the bottom of their lineup, and it's been an issue. I think that's going to improve. Now, Jung-Hoo Lee's going to hit closer to the bottom, or Luis Matos is going to hit closer to the bottom. And I think what you're going to see a little bit too now is Yaz and Lee and Matos. You got 3 guys for 2 spots, and you may see some interchanging there as well. But just the fact that the bottom of your order, I think, is going to be a little bit stronger, and that's good because that will give that top of the order some more scoring opportunities. So anyways, there's a lot of moving parts here, a lot of decisions for the manager to make on how he wants to put this lineup. Everybody's got ideas. Most of them are not necessarily wrong, but ultimately it's going to be Bob who puts it out there. And we'll see how he does this against lefties and against righties. That's what I'm sort of curious to watch. But ultimately, this should be a deeper lineup now, and that's huge. And when you say deeper, you mean there's not as many outs, and there was a few too many outs in the lineup, the first 2.5 months of this season. But I think that's going to get better. And I've been saying all along, and I'm sticking with this, there are still legitimate reasons why this team will improve some offensively in the second half of the season. And I've said it, and I'm going to stay with it. Matt Chapman is now back. Okay, that's a big deal. Rafael Devers is in the lineup. So now you have Chapman and Devers together in the lineup. We've only seen it now for 2 games. Casey Schmidt, who we like what we saw offensively from him earlier, he's now going to get a chance to be in the lineup. That should be, we don't know it for sure, that should be an upgrade offensively in the second base spot, okay? And Willy Adames, we mentioned it before. Willy Adames has always been a better second-half player in his career. Look it up. Look it up. The second-half numbers throughout his career always been better. We're starting to see that, and hopefully that'll continue. But those are my 4 reasons. And I've said this before in this show, and I'll continue to say it. I think those are 4 legitimate reasons why this team will be better in the second half. How much better? Well, that's probably going to decide on whether they make the postseason or not. But the ingredients are there for them to improve. So think about that lineup. It's fun to think about, but I just think that the possibilities are better now and more exciting now than they were for the first 3 months of the year. And I hope you guys agree with that. Let's look at a few of the comments about this lineup, Chad, and then we'll move on to the Giants All-Stars. All right, let me check. Abraham says, absolutely amazing. We got to do a game soon. Let's see. All right, they want to come to a game. Why not? Let's go. Don Capo Hosey. This is interesting. This is a good one. He said, I'd rather see Matos versus right-handed pitching than Yaz. And that's interesting. And I want to touch on that just a little bit. This year, and these are small sample sizes because Matos has not played a great deal, but Luis Matos this year against left-handed pitching, okay, he's 6 for 43. Okay, that's a 140 average. And again, it's only 43 at bats, right? But in watching him hit this year, His at-bats against right-handed pitching have been, to me, significantly better than his at-bats against left-handed pitching. I'm not saying it's been that way in his career. And again, even his career is a small sample size. But, and a microcosm of that was last night in Sacramento. First couple at-bats of the game were against a lefty who had a good changeup. And he didn't look good. He chased, struck out. His third at-bat came against a right-hander. He had a great at-bat, lined the ball to right center field, knocked in 2 runs. So again, that's just a small example. But the point is he has not looked nearly as comfortable against left-handed pitching for whatever reason. So giving Matos a start here and there against a right-hander, to me, is not a terrible idea. So I would agree with that a little bit, and it depends. If Yaz has been swinging the bat fairly well lately. Jung-Hoo Lee, we're kind of waiting for him to get going a little bit. He had a good game in Arizona, so we'll see. But if there's any struggles with those two guys, maybe you get Matos in there. But my point earlier was you kind of have 3 guys for the 2 spots. So which 2 guys look better at the plate, whether it's a right-hander or left-hander, play them. So we'll see how that comes together with the Matos, Lee, and Yaz situation in right field and center field. But it's a good point. It's a good point, and the numbers, as small as they may be, kind of back that up this year. So we'll see how Matos looks tonight against the lefty with a terrific changeup. Let's see. Bryce Herber is checking in. Bryce, we appreciate it. You're a good listener, and I love your comments. Bullpen better. It says bullpen numbers better than it sometimes feels, but like they are, but allows still like to strengthen the area of the team. Unfortunately, feels like starting pitching might be a bigger need now. Yeah, good point. And we're going to start spending more time on this show about the trade deadline. Everybody's favorite topic, right? The trade deadline. It's not that far away. It's only 3 weeks away. So we're going to start working on that a little bit. What do the Giants need? Do they need another hitter? Do they need maybe an outfielder? Do they need a reliever? Do they need a starter? Do they need 2 of the 3? Do they need all 3? Who knows? But it's a wonderful baseball conversation. We're going to start spending more time. So anyways, so good stuff with the lineup. But it's something, again, to keep an eye on, not just tonight, but tomorrow when they face a right-hander. And then let's see, do they play? And they face a left-hander on Wednesday. So we'll see both lefty and righty in this series. We'll see what Bob does. But no matter what he does, the lineup is deeper and it's longer. And that, in the long run, I think is going to show up, and it's going to help this team some, as they enter into this pedigree. So that's enough about that. Let's go to the Giants All-Stars. Big news yesterday. 3 Giants pitchers make the National League All-Star team. So congratulations to Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, and Randy Rodriguez. Let's start with Logan Webb. 2nd year in a row he's been an All-Star. Listen, the guy's an ace. I mean, we've seen it now long enough. He's the anchor. He's the kind of pitcher that, in my opinion, every team needs. Not only is he great, but he's got the ability to pitch deep into games. He's a leader. The guys gravitate to him. The young pitchers gravitate to him. So, listen, Giants fans should be thrilled with this guy. He's 8-6. He's got a 2.62 ERA, 6th in ERA. He's 1st in the league in innings pitched. He's 2nd in strikeouts. So he's a legitimate Cy Young candidate. But think about it. In 2023, he finished 2nd in the Cy Young voting in the National League. Last year, he finished 6th in Cy Young voting. This guy's getting big-time Cy Young votes the last 2 years. He's going to get big-time votes again this year. The good news, Giants fans, Logan Webb is 28 years old. He's signed through 2028. He's got 3 more years. He's not going anywhere, folks. He's here. He's a Giant, and should be happy to have him because he is an honest-to-goodness ace. And for the 2nd year in a row, he's a National League All-Star. So congratulations to Logan Webb. Congratulations to Robbie Ray. 2nd time in his career that he's made an all-star team. He did it back in 2017 when he was a youngster with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Think about it. Remember, he won the American League Cy Young Award in 2021 with the Blue Jays, and he did not make the all-star team that year, but he took home pretty good hardware with the Cy Young. But Robbie Ray, sensational, 9-3. He's tied for first in the league in wins. His ERA is 2.68. He's fifth in the league in innings pitched. He's seventh in the league in strikeouts. You think about this 1-2 punch that they're throwing out there with Webb and Ray. That's the real deal. So Robbie Ray is an all-star. He's scheduled to pitch tomorrow against the Phillies. And then, as far as we know, he's scheduled to pitch on Sunday against the Dodgers. If he pitches on Sunday, then he's not going to pitch in the all-star game. So somebody will take his place. Who knows? It doesn't have to be a Giant. It could be anybody. But maybe Tyler Rogers gets the call. Who knows? Wouldn't that be nice? But either way, Robbie Ray, an all-star. And don't remember this, folks. We talked about Webb's contract. Robbie Ray is signed through next year. He's a Giant next year as well. So look back at this trade. You got to give Farhan some credit, folks. It was in January of 2024, so not that long ago. But he traded Anthony Descafani and Mitch Haniger to the Seattle Mariners for Robbie Ray. It was sort of a contract dump for both teams. And the Giants knew that Ray wouldn't be ready to pitch much last year, but they were hoping that he could regain his form this year. And he did. And he's terrific. And he's an all-star. And you think about that trade, and wow, it's really, I mean, Descalfani, he never pitched for Seattle. And Mitch Haniger played for the Mariners last year, had an okay year, hit just 208. And then he was released by Seattle in spring training this year. This year being the final year of that contract that he originally signed with the Giants. So anyways, it turns out it was really a heck of a trade for the Giants. They took a shot that Robbie Ray would be healthy and ready to go this year. And wow, has he ever. 9-3, and he's an all-star. So again, congratulations to Robbie Ray, and a big time congratulations goes to the third Giant all-star, Randy Rodriguez. I mean, this is a phenomenal story. And, I was in Sacramento last night, and when Bob Melvin met with the media before the game, like he does every game, he was talking about this, and I could have swore that I saw Bob almost get a little emotional. That's how happy he was for this young man. Randy Rodriguez, his first full year in the big leagues. We saw him last year. Saw signs of him being pretty darn good, but this is his first full year in the big leagues. He's 25 years old, young man from the Dominican Republic. Giants signed him when he was 18 years old. And listen to these numbers. I like saying these numbers. I'm a numbers guy. I think you folks already know that. But he's 3-1 with a 0.69 ERA, 39 innings pitched, 3 earned runs allowed. He's only allowed 22 hits, 54 strikeouts, and 8 walks. Remember, there was concern in the minor leagues, and even last year a little bit, that his control could go at any time. Well, it hasn't gone. He's not walking a lot of people. He's punching people out on a regular basis. And gosh, he may be the MVP of the pitching staff so far this year. And this is a staff that's got 2 other all-stars on it. But Randy Rodriguez, just terrific. High leverage spots for this guy. Doesn't matter. Stranding runners, bring him in an inning when there's a couple guys on and nobody out. Doesn't matter. So Randy Rodriguez is an all-star. And I saw a note on this. It's I want to finish the Randy Rodriguez thing to tell you what the players in the National League think about Randy Rodriguez stuff. Follow me on this. Randy Rodriguez was voted in on the players' vote. Okay, the players' ballot is part of the All-Star selection process, and so and I want to make sure I get this right. Rodriguez got the most votes from the players who picked the 3 relievers for the National League. Okay, the players' vote picked 3 relievers from the National League, and of those 3, Randy Rodriguez got the most votes. And one of those three was Edwin Diaz, the closer from the Mets. It's awesome, right? He's having a ridiculous season. Randy Rodriguez got more votes than him from the players. So that is telling you what the players, the hitters, the guys who face Randy Rodriguez, that is telling you what they think about this guy. And really, that's the biggest compliment you can get as a player. How do the people you're playing against feel about you? That's how hitters in the National League feel about Randy Rodriguez. Ultimate compliment right there. So shout out to Randy Rodriguez. Great story. And let's hope it continues. But congratulations really to all three of these Giants All-Stars. 3 pitchers, and who knows? There's going to be guys that are going to back out of the All-Star game for maybe injuries or guys that pitch on that last Sunday, like Robbie Reyes scheduled to, they usually get replaced. So who knows? Maybe Tyler Rogers, who has all-star numbers, maybe he gets picked to replace one of the guys that will back out, like I said, due to injuries. But who knows? There's other guys that could still get in. But anyways, Giants have 3, and I know they're proud of it, and they should be proud of it. So that's the Giants' angle on the upcoming All-Star game, which is Tuesday night in Atlanta. Some tidbits from the All-Star game, and then we'll wrap up this show. But as you know, 32 players on each team, okay? 20 position players, 12 pitchers. The fans vote for the starters. So the fan voting has changed over the years, but I think the voting in general has changed. And Major League Baseball has done a nice job of getting everybody involved, including the fans who vote for the starters. The players vote for some of the reserves and some of the pitchers, and then the commissioner's office picks the rest to get to the 32 roster. So that's how the 32 man rosters are chosen. But again, some players are going to drop out due to injury or other reasons, and the guys will get added. So there will be significantly more players added, but it's 32 players that are officially able to play that night. 32 players from each side. Teams that got the most All-Stars, the Dodgers got 5. No surprise there. That is the most. And Clayton Kershaw made the All-Star team. And Kershaw, he's pitched well, but he hasn't pitched a lot because he was injured. He's back now. He was what they call a Legends pick, picked by the commissioner's office. And so you get it, right? He's a Legends pick. Kind of pick a player where you can give them the proper due, let the crowd know how they feel about a special player toward the end of his career, Clayton Kershaw. So I'm okay with this Legends pick. I think it's kind of a cool idea. But what I would do differently with this is, as I said, 32 players from each league get picked. I would make that Legends pick, make a Legends pick from each league, but make that Legends pick the 33rd player on the roster. I don't think you should take a spot away from somebody who deserves to go. I don't think that spot should be taken by a Legends pick, unless that Legends pick clearly deserves to be there. Now, Kershaw, statistic-wise this year, he was not going to make the All-Star team. So make the Legends pick the 33rd roster spot in each league. And make a Legends pick each year for each league. I think that's fun. I think it would be a cool idea. But I don't think that pick should take the spot of one of the 32 spots for a player who deserves to go, maybe more than, at least statistically, that player. That's how I would change it. But all in all, I like the Legends pick. So Dodgers get 5. Mariners get 4, including the great story Cal Raleigh. He's the starter. The Tigers got 4. This is an interesting story. Tigers are a great story. They certainly deserve it. And they got 3 starters. Javi Baez is a starter for the American League. How about that? Javi Baez, who people were just giving up on. But Tigers put him in a different position, and now he's a starter in the All-Star game. Riley Green will start as well, and Gleyber Torres, another great story. Left the Yankees, signed a one-year deal. He's resurrected his career in Detroit, and the Tigers having a sensational year. So the Tigers get 4. There's a whole bunch of teams that got 3 players. Giants, Astros, Braves, Cubs, Diamondbacks, Mets, Padres, Red Sox, Yankees. They all got 3 players on the All-Star game so far. We'll see. And the final thing about the All-Star picks, I thought it'd be fun to look back. Are there any former Giants that got chosen to one of the All-Star teams, National League or American League? So I decided to check, right? So technically there's a couple, but I guess you kind of got to put an asterisk next to it. Matthew Boyd. Remember Matthew Boyd? He's having a great year with the Chicago Cubs, left-handed starting pitcher. Matthew Boyd was with the Giants organization in 2022, but he was injured. The Giants signed him, hoping that, kind of like the Robbie Ray situation, maybe where they would let him get healthy, and then maybe he would help them late in the year. Again, this was 2022, but they ended up trading him to Seattle late in that 2022 season. So Boyd, he was a Giant for a while, but he was injured and he never pitched for the Giants at all. But he did wear the orange and black. So that's one. The other one is Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler is now one of the best pitchers, maybe the best pitcher in the National League. But remember, he was the first round pick of the Giants. Now, way back in 2009, then a couple of years later, he was traded for Carlos Beltran. We remember that. Finally got to the big leagues in 2013. Now he's a star. But Zach Wheeler was, again, part of the Giants organization, just never pitched in the big leagues for San Francisco. So I thought I'd look that up. Kind of fun. A couple of former Giants, sort of, but not really. But Matthew Boyd and Zach Wheeler, they're all stars as well. So I want to run through some questions before we close up the show tonight and get ready for what should be a fun night of baseball here at Oracle. Field is clear. They're just getting it ready. Both teams are done taking batting practice. So, we're closing in. We're about 35 minutes away from first pitch here at Oracle Park. So let me take a quick look, see if there's anything else out there. Bryce Herbert checking in again, and he agrees with me. He says, make the Legends pick a non-roster spot for sure. Yeah, I agree with that. Don Capo Posey says Devers should be in. He shouldn't get snubbed just because he got traded to the National League. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he got snubbed or not. Of course, the National League, you got Ohtani, he's going to make it every year. But I mean, I think Devers statistically is worthy of an All-Star. I mean, he's in the top 6 or 7 RBIs. He hasn't really gotten hot yet with the Giants, but I mean, he could get added. I don't think Devers is out of the question at all. So yeah. I mean, some years Devers' numbers would get him into the All-Star game. Maybe it still will. We'll see. He's been an All-Star 3 times in his career. Let's see. The legend of Glenn, we love you. I don't know about that. It's just nice to be talking to baseball fans. The Dodgers got 3 starters. Jay Case says 3 starters for the Dodgers, 3 starters for the Tigers. So Dodgers not surprising there. They're gonna get loaded up every year. Don Capo Posey says, what makes Kershaw more worthy of a Legends pick than Scherzer or Verlander? I mean, that's an interesting point. I know I heard some of the guys at KNBR talking about that today, and I mean, I don't disagree with that. I think part of the Kershaw thing is he just reached this terrific milestone of 3,000 strikeouts. Maybe that's fresh. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a legitimate, I don't want to say argument, but yeah, I mean, certainly Verlander, I mean, just his career, if we're not worrying about what they're doing this year, if you're just saying, what about the career? Yeah. But But I guess you just, gee, is Verlander going to retire? You'd kind of like to do it. The guys last year, touchy. It's a dip. I like the Legends pick, but you're right. That is a little bit of a touchy area. Who do you choose, and why do you choose that person, not that one? So it's a great point. It's a great point, and maybe it's could be something that's maybe holding this idea of a Legends pick back. But I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Make the Dough says, hey, when are the Giants expected to host the All-Star game again? Boy, I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. Was it 2007, I think, when they hosted the All-Star game? Ichiro at the Inside Park home run. But I have not heard that the Giants are in line at any point in the next 3 or 4 years. It doesn't mean it couldn't happen, but they do. Major League Baseball does plan this out quite a ways in advance. So we'll see. But Tuesday night, week from tomorrow night, it's in Atlanta. We know for sure the Giants will have 3 All-Stars there. And who knows? Maybe in the next 3-4 days, we'll find out that they get more. I don't know. We'll find out. So that's it for tonight's show. Hope you enjoyed it. Glen Kuiper Show, all Giants. Remember to hit the like button. And remember, hit that subscribe button because we love the subscribers to the show. You guys are what make us go. Giants and Phillies tonight. Get ready for that. Sit back, get comfortable. I'm going to enjoy the game from Willie McCovey's booth. All good, folks. Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. We'll see you later in the week with another edition of the Glen Kuiper Show. All Giants.